Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Welcome to High Vibrational Kings. This is a channel for people that want to better themselves in life. Shout out to anybody holding on to their energy, breaking bad addictions, and trying to become a better version of themselves. In today's video, I want to talk about how semen retention can actually help with ED. What's ED? Erectile dysfunction, man. I don't think I ever made a video on this topic, man. I don't think a lot of people make videos on this, but I feel like it's something important to talk about, man. You know, as men, all right, is that when you're watching the sites, guys, when you're watching the hub, when you're always lusting, what that does over time, I made a video on this, but I forgot to mention it in that video where I talk about how you will be easily stimulated when you're on SR. So when you're not on SR, guys, when you're in that lifestyle and that cycle of lusting and just watching the sites, you're desensitizing yourself, okay? So not only are you desensitizing yourself to what you're watching, but in life in general. So what that means is that you're not gonna feel as excited by life and other things, man. You become more numb, right? And this is a reason why erectile dysfunction happens, especially in young men, is because they're desensitized. It's not really because they have health problems, because they're like 40 or 50 years old, or you know what I'm saying. Like a lot of young guys in today's generation experience ED, like I said, not because they're unhealthy, but because they're desensitized. They're always watching that corn, they're always messing up their dopamine receptors, so they're just numb. They're numb to and they're kind of like, they got in their mind so used to watching that when they're with an actual chick, you know, they won't be as aroused because their mind is so used to being hyper stimulated that when they're with an actual female, they won't get as excited. So it will be hard for them to like get it up, you know what I'm saying? And that's a trip, man. That's terrible, bro. Like, if you're like a young guy and you like experience this, then that's a sign right there, man. Let me tell you a story, okay? I remember a couple years ago, I met this chick, right? It was like a coworker, and then she was like really into me and stuff, and we ended up like hanging out and things like that. And then she wanted to, you know, get busy. And like at the time, you know, being like, I was always like on the hub, right? Like throughout the years, I was just like on the hub and things like that. It was like something normal, right? Like how it is for a lot of guys, is that it just becomes normalized for them. It's just like, oh, whatever, you know. But this was like the wake up call, okay? This was like, it made me realize something about myself that I didn't know. Okay, so going back to the story, man, I was hanging out with this chick, right? And she wanted to get busy. So when we were getting busy, you know, I just realized that like I was having a hard, no pun intended, a hard time. I was having a difficult time like maintaining it up, you know? And the chick wasn't bad looking at all. She was pretty cute and stuff, but for some reason, like I couldn't like keep it up. It was just like, it would fluctuate, right? It would be like one moment it would be like a rock, the next it would be like, you know, just like dead, right? And I was like confused because I considered myself to be like a healthy guy, you know. I would like work out and like eat like healthy, so it didn't make sense to me like why this happened. And you know, this was like the first time like being like intimate and shit, so it was just like confused. I was like, what the heck? Like, and then after that whole situation happened, I looked it up, and that was one of the things that it was saying is like, from like, if you're always watching porn, it desensitizes you. So when you're with an actual chick, like you won't be as stimulated because you're used to getting aroused by the hub. So an actual woman won't actually do anything for you. And I was just like, wow, you know, like that was like a wake up call, because like I didn't even know about this, man. You know, the hub, it just desensitizes you to everything, including like actual like experiences with women. Okay. And, you know, a couple years forward, when I discovered SR, I was literally like 20 days on it, right? It was my first time discovering SR. And, you know, I started hanging out with this chick. Okay. And like we were like pretty into each other and stuff like that. And I noticed that I didn't have any trouble getting it up, you know? It was just like nothing, you know? Like I was like a rock, you know? And that right there was just like a sign that even though it was just like 20 days, the fact that I wasn't watching anything lustful, like my mind was automatically like going back to its natural state. Like it was more stimulated by like other things. So when I was with the actual chick, it was like my mind was like, all right, ready to go, boom, right? And it wasn't like I had to think about it. So yeah, man, it was like something that I didn't really have to think about. It was just like automatic at this point. It was like a weapon. But yeah, man, I remember when I was hanging out with that second chick, like I was very easily stimulated by her. You know, we would just be like hanging out and stuff, and then I was just like a freaking rock, you know. And like we weren't even like that intimate like that, but it was just like my mind already knew what's up. Like I was just, you know, versus back then when I was actually like trying to get them cheeks, right? It would just like I'd be like stimulated, and all of a sudden it would just like drop back down. But now, you know, being on SR, you'll be like more easily stimulated. So like when you actually get with a chick, it'll be no problem at all, you know, like performing things like that. Okay. So I feel like a lot of guys don't actually know about this, which is crazy. That yeah, man, like watching the sites and all that lust shit, it desensitizes you to actual women. So when you're with a actual female, you won't be like you'll be more in your head, you know. You'll be more in your head. You'll be like, it's very like annoying, you know. It's very frustrating. But you know, being on SR and not lusting, it just comes naturally, right? It's just you just perform like so much better. And you know, that's a big thing that like a lot of people should know about. You know, you don't need all this freaking like Viagra. You don't need all this prescription bullshit, man. You just need to retain, stop lusting, stop busting, and over time, man, your mind will just rewire itself, and you'll be able to, you know, if the opportunity comes, if you want that, you won't have a problem to perform, man, and you will actually have more like control over it, rather than like just thinking lustfully. You're trying to like, you know what I'm saying, guys? It just comes more naturally to you. And I just wanted to talk about that real quick, man. It's like on SR, it will be no problem at all, man. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up. Maintain your frame, retain gang. Woo! All right, guys, I'm out. Peace.